It's taken fitness expert and personal trainer Scott Hunt 20 methodical years to create Australia's leading mobile personal training business. And the lessons he's learned along the way apply to any business owner, including you, who's set on building a solid business that can go the distance. It's a high-intensity episode 474 of the award-winning Small Business Big Marketing Show, thanks to American Express.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to your weekly dose of marketing fitness. I'm your host, Timbo Reid, but you, infinitely more importantly, you're a motivated business owner. And you're ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire. Say it with me. It absolutely deserves to be. And today's episode 474 is made possible thanks to the good guys at American Express, whose business cards can not only smooth your cash flow out, if you let them, they could have you flying at the pointy end of the plane on a holiday, a well-deserved holiday, a whole lot sooner. Big show today. Always a big show. One of Australia's leading mobile personal trainers joins us to share how he's building a fitness empire that's already servicing over 2,000 suburbs across Australia. Well, I say already. I mean, he's been in business 20 years and he's in no hurry, but is very steadily building an empire, which I love to hear about, and so are you. Another motivated and very ethical listener wins big in this week's Monster Prize draw. And I've got some big news about next week's guests, who are making a living from something all of us do without even thinking. I love how people make a coin. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. And by stuck right in, I mean exactly that. In 1999, with just $400 in his pocket and a dream to make an impact on Australia's personal training scene, a 19-year-old Scott Hunt started Fitness Enhancement Personal Training. Well, fast forward 20 years, and today it's the largest mobile personal training business in Australia, servicing over 2,000 suburbs. And it was just recognised in the top 5 personal training businesses in Australia and number 1 in Queensland by the industry's governing body. And yes, I do ask Scott what he's not doing that the number 1 business is doing. Interesting question. I wonder if he's got an answer for it. Now, Scott joined me in my Noosa studio where he shares the secrets to his business's success, what frustrates him about his poorly regulated industry, what he's doing about it, how he's attracting A players and only A players into the business. 9 out of 10 franchisees into his business just don't cut it. What's that word? Cut the cloth? Cut the something? I don't know. And he also shares some effective marketing strategies that are really helping him draw in great long-term clients. I started off by asking Scott to share his most memorable training session.
I've done over 20,000 sessions over the years, personally myself. So there's a lot of different ones in that. And there's one thing that's true. It's no one's normal. Everyone's unique and everyone's different. Even though they might all say they've got, I want to lose weight goal. Everyone's unique. Some of the more interesting ones, I'll give you a couple. One that's more cringeworthy and one that's people always want to know about. Probably the most cringeworthy one would be the lady who had unrealistic expectations of wanting to lose 20 kilos in about 2 weeks, which we get people like that. That's fine. It can't happen, but we get it. She decided to take a certain medical supplement in extreme dosage to try to help that. And we found out it wasn't going to work during the session in a very messy way. So, yeah.
And, customer's always right. So.
Exactly. The one upside is that was one in her home, so I could just get out of there real quick and leave it for her.
So, gotta go. Next appointment's calling.
But then on the flip side, I've had other ones where, the most extreme ones, everyone asks about, what high-up people you train. My favourite one to be on a super yacht. I got to train someone, which was pretty awesome. It was pretty amazing.
Are you going to say who?
No, I can't. Leave the mystery.
Fair enough. Client confidentiality and all that. What I do know through my research is it is an Australian billionaire.
Yes.
And there are not many.
No, there's not.
No. So we could go through them, but we won't. We don't have time. Well, that's it. It makes your job interesting. You've clearly got a very interesting job. So you meet many people.
It does.
So how have you managed to get Fitness Enhancement to be ranked the top 5 personal training business in the top 5 personal training businesses in Australia, the number 1 in Queensland? What are you doing right?
Well, I guess the question is, what's going to get me number 1 in Australia, really? But
okay, I'll give you my second question. What's the number 1 ranked personal training business doing that you're not?
Yeah, you've got me, to be honest, on that one.
Well, let's come back to that. Let's talk about what you're doing right, because clearly...
So I guess for me, it's been 20 years. I started a business when I was 19 on $400 and just built from there, basically. And it's always been really heavily focused on customer service and looking after people, and then on growth and expansion as well, but keeping that quality service. And I think a lot of it is just... the devil's in the details was really looking after people properly, plus also still growing and expanding and trying to keep that same level of service as you get more and more trainers, and we're across most of Australia now. That's really, really the key to
let's just dig a bit deeper there, Scott. What does that mean? Because everyone says, we're good customer service. Does that mean looking a customer in the eye and smiling, or...? It
means a million different things. And I think a lot of the things is, the things we all see and read in books or hear on podcasts, for example, that we all know, but very few people do it again and again and again consistently, year in, year out. The common things you see in the personal training industry are the common problems you see in a lot of industries. People show up a minute late or leave a minute early. People don't give their client their full attention. All those tiny little 1%er things that just make that client go, yeah, I'm just not going to rejoin. I'm going to spend my money elsewhere. Mm-hmm. The tiny little things that even the client doesn't realise sometimes, that's what makes a difference. And I guess the proof's in the pudding with us. We've had some of our clients for 20 years now. So people I started with when I was 19, now train with my staff and have done for the last 8 or so years since I stopped doing PT all day, every day, basically. So, it's getting that service for those people. And
you're a long-time listener of this show. You probably listened to the episode with Joshua Nichols, who is the Platinum Electricians Guy 21-step customer manifesto that every one of his Sparkies must implement every time they go on site.
Yep.
Do you have something similar?
Yeah, we do actually. So we've got a really in-depth training course that we put all of our trainers through. That's got exams, it's all online and everything as well. And we make sure that they complete that. And we have follow-up education calls from one of our staff members who's a really good teacher as well.
Wow.
And then we also just speak to people the whole time. So we do a lot of mobile sessions. We're in over 2,000 suburbs around Australia now. So we've got trainers we've never met face-to-face. We've got clients we've never had anything more than spoken to. Clients have been with us for 5-10 years. We've never met face-to-face. So it's about speaking to trainer and speaking to client and checking that service.
Can I just understand that? So I understand that there'd be trainers you haven't met. You when you say clients you haven't met, someone within your business has met the client.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So you're not doing remote training.
No, we're not.
Skype.
We're not. Nope. We're keeping the personal and personal training there.
Yeah.
So we might have one of our trainers who might be, say, newish with us. So obviously passed all our tests and everything, and have started up with us. They're obviously qualified and experienced before coming to us, but then we put them through the hoops with us. They start with the client, but then it's it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be amazing. It's probably going to be good. But we want amazing.
Does the training that you're giving your personal trainers recognise the fact that your industry is a little bit lax in all that stuff? And I imagine, I don't know, but I am guessing a lot of the trainers, is there a TAFE course or something that shows you how to train people to get fit but has no business acumen attached to it?
Yeah, there's Certificate 3 and 4 in fitness. That's the standard, but it's a very wide degree of the good and the bad within that. So it's a very unregulated industry. Legally, you don't even have to be a qualified PT to call yourself a personal trainer. But
does that frustrate you?
Yes, definitely.
Let it out.
Probably the worst ones are the ones who are actually qualified, but it's some of the courses take about 24 days full-time study to be qualified to train someone who's, elderly or had back surgery or had mental health issues or is morbidly obese, and someone can be straight out of high school or not even finished high school and then be apparently qualified in inverted commas to train that person.
Can I sense there could be a royal commission coming into the personal training industry at some point in time?
To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. It's,
really?
The amount of clients and many other really awesome, credible places out there. There's plenty of great places out there. It's just that the majority aren't as good.
If there was, what would happen to the industry? Would it be because the financial planning industry's just had this, and there's been a huge clean out? Would you see, and from what I hear, speaking to financial planners, half are leaving because they're too old to kind of re-educate themselves. Those who are staying and those early on in their careers are going to make a fortune down the track because they're going to be in a position of strength.
Absolutely, and that's how it should be. It should be the ones who aren't the ones who aren't keeping up the standards, the ones who are hurting people and giving the industry a bad name and stopping people achieving their goals. We should be putting the things in place to push them out or help them step up. Mm-hmm. Either way, it's going to solve the problem. Mm-hmm. So if we could just sort that out with the bottom 20% of the industry, it'd be a massive difference. Because you look at the average Australian, they think if they're morbidly obese or elderly or injured, they've seen too many episodes of The Biggest Loser, and a personal trainer is the last person they think of going to. So we try to be really different with our business with that, and a lot of other great ones do too.
Shows like MasterChef have made every second kid want to become a chef, which is not a bad thing. What has shows like The Biggest Loser done for your industry? Yeah,
look, there's been a massive boom in the industry in recent years. It's died off a fair bit now that the government's funding sort of dried up for it and so on as well. But it's made a very crowded market. But really, if you're doing a great job, it's not a crowded market. There's still more than half the population overweight or obese. There's plenty of customers to go around. But the whole market of getting fit people fitter is extremely crowded now, and it's really hard for a lot of people to stand out. So the industry time that a PT stays in the whole industry is 10 months before they quit the whole industry. And of course, most never made even close to minimum wage before that point anyway.
You're not in the market, I would have guessed, at Fitness Enhancement of getting fitter people fitter.
No, we're not. No.
What are you in the business of?
Our real key catchphrase that works for people is we're the place that's for if you hate gyms, basically. Huh. So plenty of people out there hate gyms. We all know someone's had a bad experience at a gym and never gone back. So we really suit people like that, basically, who go, I want that personal support. I don't want to feel uncomfortable around other people. I want a down-to-earth, friendly trainer. I don't want to be smashed and made feel sore for a week. I want to feel good about myself, basically. That's what we're really for.
The gym thing it's interesting. I've just been through that. I joined a gym and cancelled after 24 hours. I think it was the shortest member ever.
You're the smartest member ever too, then.
I was actually very disappointed. I have a lower back issue at the moment, and I thought that spin classes were going to fix that. Clearly, it was the wrong thing, and so that's the only reason I joined a gym. I would love a personal trainer 2 or 3 days a week, but gym's $16 a week, and a personal trainer is about, and this is the tight ass Timbo coming out here. We're not recording this, are we, Jamie? That's $120 a week. It's quite a difference. Important investment in oneself, I guess. So talk me around. Let's do a little role play.
Well, that's the classic one. We have to say, well, what is your health worth to you?
Oh, here we go.
Priceless, right? That's one where we have to do that type of thing, right? Yeah. We don't say it black and white like that. So that's a little bit cheesy saying it that way.
How do you say it?
But it's getting people understanding that. It's very hard to say and get through to people. People really realise we're a good solution when they've actually had a problem before. So they're not feeling good about themselves. They go and join a gym, they do a spin class and they hurt their back more. That's when I realise that a personal trainer can actually be good value. So a lot of our marketing is really centred around if you've had a problem elsewhere, we're going to solve those problems for you. I guess most businesses like that. We're there to solve a problem and fix a pain point you've had somewhere, whether it be pain because you've had a sore back or pain because you felt embarrassed going to the gym and there's too many meatheads there. We're really about fixing that pain point, basically. So our best marketing is often when someone's had a bad experience. Unfortunately, many people then go and never go to another fitness place at all. But the ones who do then go, well, what can I do different, basically?
This is clearly your personal trainers get trained in message and marketing communications because it's many small businesses don't put any work into the pitch, into overcoming fears and questions and blockages that prospects have. Is part of the training that you're giving your people about overcoming all the different questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Our online training course goes through a fair bit of that. But the big one is just really hiring that right type of person. Someone who's a good personal trainer has normally been a caring, nurturing person who's got a passion for health and fitness for years and years. Someone who's good at listing people and emphasising. That's the person who's been great for years and years already, basically. So then when they go and do a personal training course, for some people they're young, for some people they're in their 40s. it just brings out the best in them. That's the type of personal trainer that we tend to look for. And then we fill in the gaps where we can, basically, and we just work with them. And we try to match them to the right client too. Not every trainer suits every client.
Clearly not. When you talk to any small business owner, they will say people is one of their greatest problems and greatest opportunities. But so how are you attracting and retaining great talent at fitness enhancement?
Yeah, look, I'd definitely agree with that. They're your biggest asset, and they can also be your biggest liability very, very quickly. So, look, part of it is actually getting that training system going. So this has been slowly but surely figured out over about 15 years I've had staff for. And I've made all the mistakes in the book, just like every other business owner out there, and had plenty of cringeworthy moments. And we still have the occasional one, but it gets less and less and less as we start, making people jump through more and more hoops, making sure they're a higher standard, having better customer service and better communication with the clients. Because remember, we don't see most of what our trainers do, so they're kind of.
When you say we, the head office staff at the franchise HQ.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
But attracting great people. So clearly, what you've done is put a lot of investment into building the fitness enhancement brand. So that then it's have you got a fair list of people coming to you versus you having to advertise out and attract people in?
Yeah, we do. We have both. We're sort of expanding, growing so quick. We are always still advertising for more trainers. Yeah, that's literally awesome. The only thing that slows our growth is actually getting enough amazing trainers. It's actually pretty easy to get some good trainers, but we're not after those people. We're after the amazing trainers. So that is our biggest struggle with growth, is actually getting more amazing people. So some of our trainers that are amazing, we've had all my main guys in my pet office, we've had for between 5 and 10 years with us now. We've had other ones start out at the bottom and then go on and advance their career, become a manager, and then go on to buy a franchise with us. People who are really investing in it and basically building their future off it, basically. And many of these people have had their same clients for the whole period. If you're not keeping your clients for years and years and years, then you're probably doing something wrong, really.
Correct.
I would say that for any business out there. If you're the tradie and you never get repeat business, there's probably a reason for that, and you probably don't deserve to.
Repeat business is awesome business. So the service level you're offering, the customer service level you're offering, the fact that you're getting results. Clearly, there's a system that every client goes through. You're making them feel comfortable.
Well,
and
that's the funny thing. People talk about results and just getting results, and that's absolutely important. People aren't going to come back if they're not getting their fitness results or their weight loss results. But at the end of the day, it's also that customer service that comes with it. It's got to be the whole package. If there's any weak links, that's when it really, really falls down. So and there's the amazing results we get clients too.
And the risky thing about a franchise is, I want to talk about why you went down that path, but being a franchisor or it really only takes one or two to stuff it up, and it reflects on all the other, however many franchisees you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think that's true with staff members as well. It's just more true with franchisees because there's a lot more on the line when they've actually invested money in it and they've probably got staff members as well. So that's, I guess, one of the upsides of franchisees is, they're committed enough to invest in that brand, basically. And you want people like you who are dedicated to building a successful business. So that's one of the big perks of franchising, and that's one of the biggest reasons we went down that route. We wanted the person who goes, there's unlimited potential with where I can grow my business with you guys, versus it's a great job, but it will never be anything more than that.
Now, I'm guessing your business has many needs. Maybe you need extended cash flow to bring to life that genius marketing idea you've been sitting on for way too long. Or maybe you'd love a rewards points program that had you flying at the pointy end of the plane on the trip of a lifetime. Maybe you're just like a business tool that made running that beautiful business of yours just that little bit easier. Well, here's what I'd do. After the show, check out American Express's range of business cards designed specifically to help small business. Simply Google Amex Business to find out more. Thanks to American Express, we're chatting with Fitness Enhancement founder Scott Hunt, who's personally taken over 20,000 personal training sessions, including some rather messy ones. I want to go back to one of the earlier questions, Scott. You don't know, or really do you know, what is the number one personal training business doing in Australia that you're not?
To be honest, I might be being biased here, but I don't see anything they're doing that we're not, I have to say. It's a place over in Perth took out that title last year, or for this year, and we're number 1 in Queensland, one of the top 5 in Australia. Look, I guess it's just whatever the judges saw in them.
Yeah.
I just look at my business. There's no point worrying about the competition when we can't really change what they're doing. I look at my business and what we can do to continue to improve, and I look at how far we've come over the last few years, last 5 years especially, at making things bigger and better and improving our service and the quality of trains and quality of sessions, and that's amazing. But then you look to the future and go, being in business 20 years, where we're going to be in the next 20 years, and we've only just scratched the surface. So what it is, all those things where we could just sit back and sort of enjoy the success, is pushing forward to actually achieve those goals now.
What's the one thing within your business that you would desperately love to do, and either it's not the right time, you haven't found the courage, maybe it needs more resources than you have?
I would say it's expand bigger and better. You
just want to grow.
Pretty much. I want to grow with the quality is the key to it.
How does that feel to you? Is there just this pent up, as a kid, you wanted to wake up Christmas morning and just get down to the tree, and you had to wait till mum and dad said, righto, it's 7.
A little bit.
Do you feel like that?
I guess as a kid, I always enjoyed building things bigger and better, right? That's what you sort of enjoyed doing. And as a teenager, I was going, when I was 15 years old, getting into fitness. And we'll have some big Australia-wide fitness business one day. And at 19, I started on my whole $400 basically.
Started a business with $400 bucks.
Yep, pretty much, which was
pair of runners.
Hey,
a pair of runners.
Exactly. One of the thing is too, there was no Facebook or anything back then too. You couldn't do the free marketing you can do now. So it was a lot tougher back then as well. And just built from there basically. And I was looking forward to where we are now, going, that'll be amazing one day. And so now we're here. I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking forward and going, we're at day one really. There's so much more we can do. We want to become that household name in fitness for people who go, I don't feel comfortable going to a gym. We want to get people more active and moving a lot more. There's still the vast majority of the population doesn't do enough exercise.
It's kind of interesting, that household name thing. Like as you say, and I'm going, it is. You're in a category in which there isn't a household name.
No.
There's probably some household names in the gym space.
Yeah, there are. In the gym space, a lot of really household names. It's becoming a very crowded market, and that's evolved over time with, your functional training places and your 24/7s.
Great opportunity.
But in the mobile personal training, there's no household name. We are the biggest mobile personal training business in Australia, about 20 times over now, I think. But, that's awesome. But we're still not at that point where people go, gee, I'd really like to lose weight. I don't feel comfortable going to a gym. I don't want that lack of support from some online system or a book. Why don't I have a trainer coming to my house? There's still not that public awareness. So that's probably my big one that we're just really pushing towards to grow that big.
You might have heard the interview I did with Ben Goodfellow from Tradies Underwear.
Yes.
He became a household name relatively quickly. I'm going to say within a matter of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He did it, I would say, in quite an expensive way. He had the Honey Badger, which is the NRL footballer guy.
Yep.
He's Nick
Yep.
someone or other, as his main not sponsor, endorser, if you like.
Yep.
And he spent a bucket load on TV advertising, and as a result, he is a household name. Tradies Undies is a household name in Australia. That's one way of becoming a household name. What's your plan?
Yeah, well, we've got some pretty big plans in the works, so stay tuned.
No, there is no one listening. You're the only listener of this show, so you'd be only telling yourself.
My mum's going to listen, though.
You're not going to tell us, are you? Eh?
No. We've got some pretty big plans in the works. We're pushing out a lot bigger and better with what we're doing, basically. The bigger thing that continues to slow us down is just getting enough amazing people on board, basically. That's the biggest one.
That's what's holding you back.
We're not going to take a franchisee or a trainer who we don't think isn't going to have amazing success. We're only going to take the people who are going to have amazing success with themselves and amazing success with their clients.
You've obviously been bitten. Tell us about the time where you did hire against company culture or your own personal values and you went backwards.
Yeah, sure. Look, I guess it's when you see someone's resume and it all stacks up and all seems right, and sometimes you just don't get that gut feeling, but everything seems right, regardless of franchisee or employee or contractor. Everything just seems right, and you just go with it, even though there's some things that aren't quite right. We don't take those people anymore. We make sure we only have the best of the best coming through, and that means 9 out of 10 people aren't going to be the best of the best. Simple as that. So we want to keep that quality there. Some of these clients I started with, again, 20 years ago, I don't, they're people I know really well, and there's plenty of clients I've never met, but I feel like I know well. I don't want to put them with someone who I don't think isn't going to do as good a job as our best trainers. So
You keep talking about the fact that you've not met a lot of people in your business. How many people are there in the business all up?
as trainers, there's 100 or so trainers,
Right.
and then clients, there'd be thousands across everything we do.
You're now working, you're off the tools, you're working
Yep.
on the business 100% of the time.
Yep.
Do you ever pick the phone up and go and ring a random client that you haven't met and go, Scott Hunt here, just checking in?
I do.
Do
The most common thing would be if just for whatever reason we're in the office and everyone's on the phones or doing something, phone rings, I'll be there answering it, right? And because that's how you learn and that's how you continue to improve the whole time as well.
So that's an incoming
And we'll
call.
try-
Do you actively make outgoing calls?
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
The most common ones would be we get a client posting something on Facebook or sending us an email or something like that, and I'll just reply back to it myself.
Yeah.
On the very odd occasion, we do get something that hasn't gone quite so right. I will occasionally respond back to that myself if it's sort of been escalated to me, just to say that, hey, look, we're not some big faceless company. Doesn't matter how big we are. We're never going to get that way where it's going to be, well, it's just another number. We don't care about
So
that.
I find with growth comes things like becoming a bit faceless. Growth can bring as many opportunities as it can, problems.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where that fine balance is there. I think too. You look at some of the big gym names where they've got that horrible reputation of just hoping someone comes and pays and never comes back, and that's pretty much the business model for some gyms out there. And I'm sure there's plenty of other businesses like that too. Yep. And to scale and to grow and to be profitable, that is how they have to work. Otherwise, they couldn't offer a membership for $10 per week. So we want to scale and grow and be bigger, but keep that amazing quality and service there. So it's a real balancing act with that the whole time. And then obviously too, that plays into how the numbers work out with everything too, because it costs money to offer amazing service the whole time.
No doubt. The best example I've seen of a business that's grown exponentially yet maintained a tribal feel, and they use the word tribe, is Flight Centre, where and there's a whole book on this. I can't remember what it's called, but basically, Flight Centre grew to the point, and for overseas listeners, it's the biggest travel agency in Australia. They have nations and countries and tribes, and I think it's based on an old Indigenous principle. The Indigenous people of Australia found that once you got to a certain number of people, it became uncontrollable. So the tribe had to split into two, and no one, less people died. Everyone flourished really as a result of keeping those numbers small. Good communication. There's enough food for everyone. So similar type thing.
Yeah, look, there's loads of stories to look at like that. There's ones like Zappos as well in America.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
he's written a great book on that.
Tony Shea.
Yep,
Great
exactly.
book. What's it called? Delivering Happiness.
Yeah. So I've read that a couple of times, and there's loads of great stories out there like that. And I really look at things like that and go, you're just selling a pair of shoes. It really doesn't matter if the person on the phone's nice or not. It's important, of course. I'm playing devil's advocate when I say that. Yeah. For us, we're looking after someone's health and their fitness. It's sometimes life-changing results that clients are getting with us. So we are selling ourselves. We're selling our service and nothing else. There's no product, there's no pair of shoes that we're selling. It's just our service that we're selling. So if a place that's selling shoes can have that kind of service, surely any service business can have that kind of service too. So, and that makes a scale to that sort of size based on that. So if they can do it, we can do it. Everyone else out there can do it.
We're not very good in Australia at service. I've entertained American people here, taken them to restaurants, and they're just shaking their head, going, "Really, really, is that all you've got?" And I'm talking nice restaurants. If you do go to a retail environment or any environment in America, because it's based on tips, right? They're making their money through tips, so they're kind of motivated by that.
Yeah, it's a good motivator.
It is a good motivator. But we do, and again, I think anyone listening, and I'm guessing you would agree, is that if you do focus on service and not just the platitudes of customer service, but real customer call it customer experience. Yes. And that's a point of difference still.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it drives me crazy, the standard of service out there with different businesses, absolutely. But on the flip side, I go, wow, what an opportunity for someone who's actually doing it right.
Unbelievable.
It's not difficult to look absolutely amazing compared to the average person in your industry out there. So just simply under-promise, over-deliver. It's that simple. And do it forever and ever and ever.
Yeah. So, Scott, just to wrap up the growth discussion, it does, you're eager. From what I can gather, you're not in a hurry, and maybe one of your upsides is that You're not going to just take on anyone. You're not going to keep adding franchisees just for the sake of it. You're going to be doing it in a very considered way. You're a very rational fellow.
Yeah,
Even
absolutely.
before we started recording, you said, Tim, I'm not into woo-woo, so let's not talk woo-woo.
Yeah, look, I guess for me, again, I started 20 years ago,
Yeah.
and I could have franchised probably, 10, 15 years ago, but I franchised 5 years ago because I thought that was when the business was at that point where I could proudly say that we can replicate this in another state. And I'm on the Gold Coast, and our first franchisee was in Melbourne. So being able to go, can we replicate that interstate? That was what the goal was, basically, without a drop in standards. That's the goal. The goal is to actually get that success everywhere and help people everywhere, and also trainers too. You know, I see too many good trainers drop out of the industry because they can't make a proper living out of it. So that was the goal, and then the financial side of that comes second. But obviously, everything's important.
We are talking to Scott Hunt, who is the founder. I was going to say co-founder, but you are the founder
One
of
and only.
Fitness
Yep.
Enhancement, and it's a mobile personal training business servicing over 2,000 suburbs across Australia. Let's talk marketing. It is the Small Business Big Marketing Show. First of all, how do you maintain brand consistency as you add franchisee after franchisee?
Yeah, for us, most of it, we do it in-house because some franchise systems out there, they'll let their franchisees do their own Facebook ad and all those different things. We do all of that in-house, basically. So if it comes to any paid advertising, pretty much all that's done in-house. We can do it bigger and better and cheaper than they can, and it stops them deciding to turn our logo pink or something like that as well. Not that anyone's tried to do that, but there's always that sort of concern out there. Then within their own marketing, they're actually doing their own things, their own networking and their personal Facebook pages and all those different things, and we're just having those conversations with them the whole time. It's about getting people understanding what your values are and what you're about. If we say do this, don't do that, people aren't really going to do it. But they understand what your values are and why you're actually doing it. They're more likely to do it. And on top of that, again, we make sure we get that right type of trainer who comes to us in the first place. If someone's into I don't know, extreme bodybuilding or something like that, they're not going to click with what we do. There's a place for it in the industry. It's not with us, but there's a place for that. So it's simply, we could not expect that person to market their business the way we want them to. And when we say marketing, that's not just what you stick up on Facebook. That's every single session you do is marketing. Every session you do, you're explaining to that client why they should come back and spend money with you next week and why health and fitness is a better thing to put your time and effort into than something else.
There's music to my ears. Way too many business owners even now see marketing as the Facebook ad or the ad in the local paper or that is marketing communications. But everything we do is marketing for our business. You hear it's marketing for your business. If you've got signage on your car, it's marketing. It's
absolutely
everything. The way we talk to our customers, the voicemail message we have.
Yep, absolutely. It's all marketing. It all goes together. When you're going to shops and you're still wearing your personal training uniform, it's marketing. I've had plenty of time from not wearing my personal training uniform and people still know who I am, and that's still marketing.
That's awesome.
So it all adds up the whole time. I think a lot of business owners forget that. They whack up a few things on Instagram or Facebook, and then they go, "Oh, I did my marketing because I had my buddies like it." That's not marketing.
What's the best marketing you've ever done within the business to generate inquiry?
Yeah, gee, I would say it's really hard to narrow it down to one because I think any business should have more. I would say Google is one of our best ones.
SEO?
Yep, SEO combined with AdWords. They're both really, really important. In particular, having lots and lots of different landing pages for things different people are looking at. Our new website that went live recently has got literally thousands of web pages on it, targeting all the different things that we're after.
Am I right in saying you've got 8,000 pages on your site?
Yeah, this is my new site. It got to be out of control, didn't it? So
8,000?
Yeah. Well, we service over 2,000 suburbs now.
Okay.
So we want to make sure
that
we're doing every single suburb that we service justice because the trainers in those suburbs, they need
So let's just understand that because that is a great SEO tactic. You have a page, let's say, where are we? We're in Noosaville. So there is a page for fitness enhancement that talks about having a personal trainer in Noosaville.
Yep, exactly.
Right. So in that page, the metadata and everything about that page is clearly titled so that Google know, someone's searching for a personal trainer in Noosaville. That is
exactly
number one.
Yep.
That will be the number
and
one.
One is going to rank higher, which, of course, if you're not found, you're nowhere anyway. But then, two, it means that person in Noosaville goes, oh, they're a Noosaville personal trainer. They're not some bloke on the Gold Coast who's kind of expanded here. So,
and what's interesting about that is if someone does do a Noosaville personal trainer search and you take them to a page, not the home page, but a page deep in your website that is personalised to that suburb, And I imagine, how does it then talk to that person in Noosaville, besides mentioning the suburb?
Yeah, well, one of the good things is a lot of what you offer is pretty much the same everywhere.
Yes.
And our target client is pretty similar. We've got many different pages for different goals and different types of people and different services they're looking for. But intrinsically, our core client is that person who's going, I need to get in shape, and I really don't want to go to a gym for whatever reason. That's our core person. There's some pretty common things where we can talk to everyone about that. So that's what's really targeting. And then, of course, our other great one to stem from that, and it all really ties in together. It's just doing a lot of remarketing, whether that be good old-fashioned, they've submitted a form, they don't get back to us, and we're just keeping in touch with them and building that relationship with them. Good old-fashioned pre-digital marketing.
You mean getting on the phone and following up? This is unheard of.
Yeah, I know. It's a crazy idea, isn't it?
Is that a real person or a bot?
Exactly. It's a real person. so that's one of the
I actually
really,
think
really
there
important
is,
ones.
there's that wonderful saying, when everyone else is shouting, whisper.
Yep.
Everyone right now is shouting on social media, online. It's just everyone's looking at a screen.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and the whispering is done looking up off the screen
Exactly.
and making a phone call or going to a networking event or whatever it may be.
Exactly. And different people want to consume content differently as well. Some
Yes.
people are happy to see that Facebook ad popping up. We do a lot of Facebook ads and a lot of heavily targeted remarketing ads, and it works for some people. Other people, believe it or not, are on Facebook.
Do you do all this in-house? Do you have an agency?
We do use a couple of different places, but most of it's done in-house. I've always been really marketing savvy, so that's always been what I've
You've
been
been
most
listening to
passionate
this
about.
show since day one, so it's
Yeah.
worked.
Well, that's what I spend my spare time doing. I love building my business basically, and it's I love the marketing side of it because it's unlimited potential. I love helping a client too. But there's always a limit with where someone can go to. When you're building a business, it's sky's the limit, basically.
I love it, Scott. You're clearly always the student. Besides listening to this show, where else do you get your information, and where do you find the time to consume it?
So podcasts would be my go-to thing, actually. So there's quite a few great podcasts now. So when I discovered yours, it was one of the few good ones I could find, to be honest.
Stop it.
But sorry to say, there are some other great ones out there too now.
No, Scott, there's not. Let's just get that really clear. All right, 'cause I can delete this whole interview. No, there are. There is some great. I mean, there is. It's a medium that you talk about your industry being day one. I would say podcasting too.
Exactly.
The upside's huge.
So yeah, I don't really have the time. My wife and I both work full time. We've got 2 young kids. It got all those things happening in our lives. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. Whenever I drive or I run a lot as well.
No doubt.
I listen to podcasts because if I'm running, I might as well be doing something with my brain as well, mightn't I?
Marketing disasters? Anywhere you've dropped a bomb of dough and it's gone, that just didn't work.
Yeah, look, I think it's when there's a weak link in the chain with something, that's when it really, really hurts you. And if it's a really obvious one, you can see it right away and you can pull it right away, and that's not too bad. Back in the olden days, before there was so much digital marketing, if you got something wrong, you simply just couldn't pull it. Now you can just press one button and turn off that AdWords or turn off that Facebook campaign. It's so easy. So the only times where it's probably really cost us is when, for whatever reason, we've just missed that missing link in the chain and something just hasn't been working well or converting well, and we've just done too little too late, basically. That's been the worst one.
I mentioned some big analog marketing too, vehicle signage or uniforms. Are you pretty big on all this kind of above the line branding?
Yeah, we do a bit of vehicle signage. We've got some of our trainers with their cars fully vehicle wrapped. But the funny thing is, though, one of our real niches is 100% private personal training, which really sums up what we do a lot of the time. And is also, too, something that we know a gym cannot compete with that niche. Problem is that client doesn't want the car in the driveway, exactly, with everyone going, oh, Mrs. Jones got a personal trainer. so that's why it's minimal with the vehicle signage.
Interesting.
That's
a bit of a bummer, really.
It is. And then again, when Mrs. Jones loses this amazing amount of weight, the last thing she wants to do is take a selfie and put it on Facebook as well.
That's right. Yeah.
As opposed to certain other parts of the industry,
Look at me.
Whenever someone's doing a certain, doing CrossFit or something, it's going to be all over Facebook, and that's an amazing marketing strategy for them. But it's something that we can't really rely on when our key point of difference is 100% privacy.
That's a challenge.
Yes.
In fact, I answered a listener question only on this week's episode from a listener who has an online sex toy business. And he too was struggling because no one wants to say, just bought that awesome vibrator and it's really good. But anyway,
Exactly.
I digress,
Exactly.
and I'm blushing right now. So, some industries have those issues.
We will see it with certain topics as well. So we'll do a lot of local blog, a lot of blog articles on different topics and so on, and ones on things like pelvic floor and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And no one really goes, "Yeah, I like pelvic floor" on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but we know from looking at the stats on it that we get a lot of inquiries off that type of article, and that's really, really awesome. And that's a great client too. Anyone who's trying to solve a problem to do with aging typically is a great one, because we want that client who's going to stay with us for 20 years, like some of our clients. Not that person who wants to get fit for summer and quit in winter. So the awkward topics are some of our best marketing topics, and they get the best results. It's just no one wants to talk about them.
No, love it. Fitness Enhancement.
Yep.
You happy with the name?
Yes, but we are expanding into a few different areas with that as well.
What do you mean?
Well, we've diversified a lot. So basically, when I started, it was me from the boot of the car with the goal of having a studio. I've still got a really big studio on the Gold Coast, and that goes really well as well. So that's a huge part of what it is as well. And then we expanded to mobile personal trainers as well. We're also NDIS registered as well. So that's a National Disability Insurance Scheme where we get funding to train clients with a disability. So that's a really, really exciting part as well. And so within that, we're getting these little sort of almost sub-brands.
So, okay, what's your branding model there? Because you could some businesses could lose the plot around that. Are you holding Fitness Enhancement as the mother brand and then underneath just having a sub-brand name?
Yeah, pretty much. Because the thing is, when someone's looking up, we go to something really niche like the disability training that we do. Fitness enhancement doesn't sum up exactly what that is. It could mean a lot of different things. And really, our training's about, with the disability work, is about the quality of life, basically, and people getting that mobility and that freedom and that independence as well. So our marketing for that is very, very different to some of our other marketing. I guess back to our web pages, with why we have so many web pages too. That person Googling, personal trainer for seniors, or weight loss for seniors, for even more generic. It's not appropriate to have them going to a page that just says fitness enhancement everywhere. It's just a name. What's important is what's on that page, and those first few things they read that are just summing up exactly what their problem is, and then saying, here's a solution. So that's partly why you'll see a lot of our web pages where it's, our logo is a lot smaller than the key selling point, basically.
Got it.
So, definitely aware of the pros and the cons of that.
I had a look at your social media. Looks like you've given up on Twitter as of late last year. Facebook is fairly regular. YouTube, you seem to have some good traction. You've got some videos there that have had 60, 70, 80,000 views. Is there a preference for social media? I don't think I could find you on Insta. Maybe it was.
We don't really use Instagram much, to be honest. Basically, our best client, if we could narrow down who our best client is, our best client is in their 50s.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So you look at the demographics, and the brilliant thing about social media marketing is you can narrow it down so much, from male to female, to what age, to income categories, to what device they're on. It's absolutely amazing what you can do. And when we narrow it down, we go, where do our best clients come from? That's what we look at, and that's what we go with. I think a lot of people get hung up on going, I got these leads. But if the lead was someone for a 7-day free trial and they never joined, well, it's a pretty useless lead. We don't look at that. We look at how many leads did we get, or inquiries, or whatever metric we're using, but then the quality of the client behind that. What did they sign up for, basically? And that can take a long time to figure out, because, how do we know the lifetime value of some of our clients when we've had some for 10, 20 years and they're going to be with us for another 10, 20 years? Yeah. But we're going, what gets us people like that inquiring versus the same amount of inquiries from, let's say Instagram, and everyone's going, I want to lose weight for summer, and they're going to quit in winter.
Yeah. Don't want those.
No,
don't want
exactly.
those. You've got a favourite quote, Scott. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're probably right.
Yeah. Well,
do you live by it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's that's the thing. Most people don't achieve their goals, whether it be in business or fitness, because they just don't believe they can do it, and they're not backing that up with the actual hard work as well. So my other big one I'm always saying is you've got to get that balance right. It's got to be you're working hard, you're working smart, and you're doing it the whole time. Then you get lucky. Yeah. Most people just go, harder you work, lucky you get. But my favourite quote on top of that is, the harder and smarter you work, and repeat that, then the luckier you get.
Awesome. Well, mate, I think it's a great story. A couple of actions. I'd like you to find out what the blokes in Perth are doing that you're not. It's concerning me. Clearly, you should be number one. Maybe next year. Maybe next year's your year.
Got to keep you hungry, haven't you?
Yeah,
But then once
correct.
that's there, they'll be number one in the world. That's in the goal, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly right. I wish you all the best in the future. What are we off to do now? A couple of burpees or crunches?
Well, you're the one coming to the session, so we're all about giving the client what they want.
Mate,
What do you enjoy
you have
doing?
got a business shirt on right now. We are doing nothing. Scott Hunt, fitnessenhancement.com is the website. Thanks for sharing, mate. I think it's a great story, and I wish you all the success in the future.
Thanks for having me on, Tim.
Well, there you go, team. Fitness Enhancement's Scott Hunt, and he has very generously added to the swagger prizes that you can win in the Monster Prize Draw. More on that shortly. But first, thanks to American Express, here's what grabbed my attention from that chat with Scott. Attention grabber number one. I love Scott's view on the importance of maintaining quality customer service, no matter how many employees or franchisees he may have now and in the future. He is absolutely determined not to drop the ball on that. And that can be a tough thing to kind of manage as a business gets bigger. Scaling's great, but how do you maintain that quality of service? Well, Scotty's doing it. Attention grabber number two. I love the fact that Scott has put together in-depth training courses that includes exams for all his new franchisees. Great way to maintain consistency and keeping everyone on the same page, so to speak. And attention grabber number three. I love Scott's focus on first and foremost chasing repeat business as opposed to the constant hunt for new clients. Can be a little bit seductive, getting out there and figuring out how can we get new clients that have never heard of us before. But I reckon there's money left on the table if you don't kind of knock on the door of existing customers. You know that because you listen to this show. That's what grabbed my attention. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/474. Let me know your thoughts.
Come on down. It's Timbo's Monster Prize Draw.
You know what that means? It's time to reward another motivated listener for taking some serious marketing action. And today's winner of the Monster Prize Draw is Gordon Gnome of the Gordon Gnome. Now, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that surname right, Gordon. Gnohm. I had a look at your website and there was a gnome, a garden gnome on it. So I'm kind of rolling the dice on that one. Apologies if I got it wrong, buddy. Gordon has been a listener since episode 320, and this is what he says. Hey, Tim, the guests you wrangle onto your show are good talent. I don't wrangle them. They come happily most of the time and leave even happier. A good talent and a constant inspiration. Well, that's good. I love to hear other people's business stories. So do I. It's amazing how some people get to where they are. Yeah, it is. It really is. Some people do it overnight and other people like Scott, 20 years to be an overnight success. Gordon goes on to say, the main takeaway from your show is that marketing is my newfound hobby. Oh, I love that. My dream is to make marketing a hobby for everyone listening, because when something's a hobby, time disappears, you find the money to do it, the resources to do it, and you can't wait to do it each time. You'll schedule it. Gordon goes on to say, here are a few tips that have changed the way my business presents and operates. My email signature was updated shortly after I heard you talk about it on your podcast. I found a business collaborator, or better put, they found me through my smart online marketing. Well done. I am building my website and all the SEO tips have helped the content rank. I have started informing potential customers with content marketing to good effect. I wish I had more time for it. Well, Gordon, find it, buddy. Schedule an hour a week to create some content. You're standing on a mountain of knowledge. All you've got to do is decide to share it on video, audio, or the written word. Go for it. My business is currently refining its brand for better placement in relevant marketplaces. I'm working on a video series to further cement my business as the market leader. The 4x4 boys were an inspiration. Yeah, that was a great interview, that one. I've been experimenting with video content to good effect, so I'm ramping it up this year to become great, although I could go on and on and on. Well, I don't think you have to, Gordon. It looks like you actually listen and implement. That's where the magic is, hey? Ideas without action remain ideas. Thanks for your contribution, Timbo, to my business. I look forward to your next instalment. Gordo, thegordongnome.com.au is his website, providing ecological design solutions for human environments. And Gordon, you have won set of boxing gloves from Fitness Enhancement. That's pretty good. Access to Jeff Anderson's video marketing course, that's $197. A $50 Snackwise sample box. A full range of Liars non-alcoholic spirits valued at over $500. A Saya Skincare Basins Essential Pack, $79. A $100 Tradies voucher to get some new undies. Nice. Or workwear. Beach People voucher for $50. You can get a round towel from them. 6-pack of Mr. Lee's noodles, $30. Canning Butcher's voucher, $100. A My DNA test kit, $99. You get promotion on this show and a backlink in my show notes. That's gold right there. Well done to you, Gordon. To everyone else, hey, why don't you send me an email? Just pause the episode right now. Type in tim@timreid, reid.com.au and tell me one idea you've implemented from this show and what impact it's had on your business. That's all you got to do. You do that, I read it on air, you win. Well, that almost wraps up episode 474 of the award-winning Small Business Big Marketing Show. Thanks to who? That's right, you got it, American Express. And you can check out their extensive range of business cards by searching Amex Business. I'd encourage you to do that. They've got some pretty damn good ones. I'm on a roadshow for Amex at the moment, going around Australia with Andrew Banks. I might touch more on that next week. I will do that. Next week, we catch up with a young couple, how's this, who have created an amazing little business on the Sunshine Coast, showing kids all over Australia, wait for it, how to breathe. Yes, you heard it right. How to breathe, and it is a ripper little business. Hey, don't forget there's an entire back catalogue of interviews with incredible business owners doing amazing marketing over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, and you can grab a copy of my book, The Boomerang Effect, as well, if you feel like, brushing up on a particular form of marketing I call helpful marketing. I reckon you'll love that. If you love the show, let another business owner know about it. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid. You're not. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the absolute best marketing. Bye for now.